Hi crafting friends, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, warmest welcome. Warm welcomes are always appreciated. Here, round the corner from our home, these pigs just came up to greet us when they saw us walking by. We've never fed them. It's just a friendliness that they seem to have, almost like dogs. It reminds me of Wilbur in Charlotte's Web. In today's video, I'm going to be taking you through the steps to make a busted canvas. It's a very popular trend. We're going to combine those techniques along with some decoupage techniques. I was inspired by the color of this barn, and I picked up this paper in the brick pattern. I also purchased this canvas from the Dollar Plus section. It was $5 because it includes some paints as well as paint brushes. I won't be using these for this project, but I'll set them aside. Here's this lovely brick scrap paper, and I'm going to attach it to the front of this canvas using this Mod Podge from the Dollar Tree. You'll want to apply it in both the horizontal and vertical direction. And then, once I had it nicely covered, I used my heat gun to thoroughly dry it. Now, the reason I'm thoroughly drying the surface before attaching that piece of brick-inspired scrapbook paper is because we're going to do a different technique today, which is an iron-on method. So you see, I'm just laying the paper over the surface of the dry canvas. The next thing is to lay a piece of parchment paper over the surface. I purchased this roll at the Dollar Tree. So just cut a piece about the size of your surface, lay it on top, and then you see I'm using this little cricket iron that I've preheated. By going over the surface evenly, I'm reactivating the Mod Podge glue. That will create a bond and a very smooth, wrinkle-free surface. It almost looks as though you now have a brick panel. We're going to then flip the canvas over because now we need to take care of the back side. I cut another piece of scrapbook paper to fit the interior dimensions of that back side. And as you see now, I'm applying a nice coat of the Mod Podge, both again horizontally as well as vertically, to cover that surface very well. Then I just placed that piece of paper right inside and adhered it. You see, in this case, I adhered the scrapbook paper to the wet Mod Podge because I thought it would be easier than trying to iron inside that frame. Here you see I'm applying another coat of Mod Podge over the back surface. In between coats, I'm going to use my heat gun and dry. I want to apply several coats because you want that paper to be very durable and thick because we're going to cut into it. After it's thoroughly dry, you're going to make a cut into the back. And the best way to do it is to make a cross. There are many ways to make these cuts. Some people use an X-Acto knife, which works very well also. I happen to have these very sharp scissors. So you can see that I'm making diagonal lines, cutting from that interior cross cut all the way out to the frame. And you'll feel that wood frame come right up to your scissor line. You can also start with shorter cuts and then extend them. You'll be amazed as you flip it over and roll back your paper to see the explosive design you've created. Here in my previous video, Busted Canvas Creations, I did an entirely different color combination and I framed this darling black-capped chickadee that I also decoupaged. I used a painted surface in this case and used this copper-colored rice paper on the backside. And you can see how in this case I made fewer cuts. You can make as many or as few as you like to enhance the image that you're going to be framing. Here I did some asymmetrical cuts and I think it really looks beautiful. You want to create a kind of burst open effect. I'm just briefly demonstrating for you here how to use hot glue on the tips of your folded back paper to adhere it to your canvas. Just simply fold it, curl it as you see I'm doing, and then press it down until it adheres. You can make your curves shapely that way and hold them in place. And I've seen people even twist their paper and then adhere the tips. So again, you let your imagination take flight with this, using any beautiful papers, paint, color combinations, and techniques. And I wanted to show this clip to you from the previous project just so you would see how to easily adhere your curls. And now back to Santa Claus. I chose this napkin design that I'm going to show you how to decoupage because I thought that the brick pattern was evocative of the chimney that we often think of Santa Claus coming down. So I chose this napkin, and as you see, there's 6 panels of designs. We're simply going to cut out one of those panels, and then I'm going to do what's called a fussy cut, which is to cut around the design in a very detailed way. So once you have your panel cut out, simply go around the design and go very close to that design outline. And after your design is completely cut out, you'll want to take it and separate those plies. You only want the top surface of the napkin to be used. So here he is, and I think he's already looking very jolly, ready to be attached to our canvas. But first, what we're going to do is overlay him upside down on a plastic bag. And then, using a little spray bottle filled with tap water, I'm saturating it with the water spray. That immediately causes wrinkles to form, and we're going to gently pull those wrinkles out with our fingertips. That will create a wrinkle-free design on the surface of the canvas we're now going to prepare. Choose one of the Dollar Tree $1.25 canvases, and then using Mod Podge, apply a nice even coat vertically and horizontally. The next thing we're going to do while it's wet is to take our Santa Claus on the plastic and flip it so that it's right side up against our canvas. Now, another step I actually forgot to do was to smooth out the surface over the plastic with a tissue. That would ensure that it would lay nicely. I'm very fortunate this one worked out, even though I neglected that step. You can see the result. It looks as though Santa has been actually painted on the surface of the canvas, even taking on the texture. It's hard to believe that's just a napkin. I used the heat gun just to dry the surface a little bit before applying this glitter that I purchased from Amazon. This very fine texture adds the perfect festive embellishment. And to add some final dimension, I had this old gift bag from which I'm cutting one of the pom-poms. I'm going to just cut that down to size and attach it to the tip of his hat using some hot glue. And with that final embellishment, we're ready to frame our canvas. Here, we're going to set it into the back of our busted frame. In order to hold it in place, we're just going to run a narrow line of hot glue on all 4 sides of the edge of that canvas. Then you see I'm just overturning it into the back, and it will stay solidly in place. And as I overturn it, you can see what a delightful Christmas decoration this has become. I want to make it even more festive now, so I'm going to add some jingle bells and bows and Christmas trees and snowflakes, all of which came from Dollar Tree in a collection of scatter. You can see how festive that looks. I know it's a bit early for Christmas, but some people do craft shows and begin to prepare now for their shows coming up in the fall. Beginning next week, I have a lot of fall decorations and DIYs I want to share with you, including some centerpiece ideas and wreaths. So I look forward to sharing those with you. I also invite you to subscribe if you haven't already. And please do leave me a comment below. Let me know what you would like to see coming up in the fall. Do take care, and God bless.